And hey, things just jumped over there. So I'm your host Kong. Give me 1 second. And along with my co-host. Come on. There we go. Kujisak. Bam. So Kujisak, I just wanted to apologize last week. I completely forgot that you had that prior engagement going on. So I do apologize for calling you on your phone and all that. Hold on. Upsaw?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just saying that's why the phone has a silent setting, so it was all good.
So
Unfortunately, people don't use that often enough sometimes.
Right. All right, so let's get on to the first segment of the show, and that is going to be the hot seat. So this is a segment where we talk about the highs and lows of the week. So let me start off with some of the highs. Despite my unlimited amount of time, I managed to get my minimal goal of cleaning that one section done in just like 20 minutes. So much more efficient, but not as clean as I would have liked it to have been. So that was a high. Other highs were, let's see, despite my prior arrangements, originally I was supposed to go to the cemeteries on Sunday, and then later that was bumped up to Saturday. So I don't know if you were aware, but today is actually Qingming, or Cheongmyeong in Korean. So yeah, it's another one of those holidays where you go to cemeteries and clean things up and all that stuff. But
Sure.
So yeah, I did that, and I tried cooking some roast pork. You know, the Cantonese style with the really crispy skin and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tried that, and it was an utter failure. So that's actually a low. But I'm going to try it again this weekend, and it'll be much better.
Well, hey, hopefully you learned something from it.
Oh, yeah, I definitely did. Now, some of the other lows was that with all this stuff going on, it didn't help that Friday I went out and bought a new tablet. Just to try to get around some of the wireless issues that I've been having lately with my desktop.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, of course, when you buy a new tablet or computer of some sort, then you're always going to want to try to customize it and make sure that everything is down to the T and ready for you to use before you actually get around to using it.
Right.
Unfortunately, that took up pretty much the entire weekend, and ultimately it ended up in failure to the point that I actually went ahead and returned it today, just a couple hours ago.
Wow, that's not good.
Yeah. But yeah, so what about your highs and lows?
So let's see here. Highs. It was actually a slow week at work, which was good because the previous week sucked. That's kind of circumstantial and has absolutely nothing to do with my impact, but it was a good start. I finished all my classes, got A's in all of them, so that's quite the high.
Congratulations.
It did occupy more time than I had initially thought it would. The actual final exam was pretty easy. We had allotted 4 hours, but it actually took me 2, which I thought it was not going to take that long. So, but still, got an A on it, so I can't complain. And then my final assignment, I got 100 on, even though I could not get the optional piece working. But I think my goal until my next class starts is to try to figure that out.
Okay.
Let's see, some other highs. Not a whole lot happened other than really my schoolwork. Was kind of the priority for this week, but it's I did have a thought that I was gonna put out there, but it seemed to vanish. Let's see. Found a great restaurant, so that was part of the events of last week.
Nice.
But kind of bled into this week, so I can't complain. Spent a little bit more money than I intended there. Didn't realize it was going to be that expensive, but had a good night, so I can't complain too much. Another high, my girlfriend bought me a Raspberry Pi 3.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, in fact, it was available locally here in the city, which was quite the shocker. I didn't expect that, but you know, $35, can't complain. So now I need to. Of course, she bought it during the week when I was super busy. So now that I'm not as busy, hopefully I get a chance to actually do some stuff with it. So
All right.
right now I've just got Raspbian on it, so it's just kind of a front station, and maybe I'll tinker around and play with it. But it works, so that much I have tested.
Cool. So with that being said, let's move on to the next section, the Mastermind group. So I really have nothing to say. I mean, I just for this week, it's just been it was really good, but then that computer, all this stuff going on, I didn't dedicate enough time to things that I should be doing. So my fault on that. But yeah, like tomorrow we got a test for my class, and I really should be studying, but I'll definitely be cracking the books after this. Now, a little bit after this, however, well, I should backtrack. Before this podcast, I was actually eating, and I just realized doing the calorie counting, I don't have enough nutrients, enough calories for the day. So after this, I'm actually going to go to the supermarket, go get some stuff to eat, and then come back and then start studying, cramming the books. So
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I actually did. You were talking about your food. I did actually have a good success last week with food. I made honey. What was it? Honey. It wasn't honey barbecue. It was like honey glazed chicken with vegetables in
That
the
sounds
crock
good.
pot. Yeah, I made it in the crock pot. Yeah, I could have done it without the crock pot, but the crock pot was basically easy, so that was kind of the reason I chose it. um, Came out really well. I kind of came across the realization I need something better than an $8 crock pot from Walmart, mainly in the size aspect and something that can probably do warming. But it allowed me to take lunch to work for a few days. I'm gonna try to increase that so I can take lunch to work every day. But it was a really easy way to do that, and I can just scoop the contents into little containers, and basically my preparation was done. I don't mind cooking. I hate the dishes. I hate the preparation. I hate all that piece. So it was quite efficient, and that's kind of my goal is to try to find a efficient, easy, healthy way of doing it, and then eventually maybe I'll get back on track on actually tracking that stuff, so it won't be as much of a pain in the ass.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm going to be attempting something else this week with chicken as well, and we'll see how that goes.
Oh, that's good. I mean, I'm the exact opposite. Where like, honestly, I hate cooking. I wouldn't say I love washing dishes, but I'm pretty proficient at it that it doesn't bother me. So I guess for me, it's like you get to like anything else, really, you get to a certain habit, and I guess
Hmm.
it'll get to a certain point where it won't bother you. So regardless if you do get around to just sticking with the crock pot, or if you're just gonna like maybe go the more traditional route of cooking, I don't know. I mean, but yeah,
Yeah,
habits, good
yeah,
habits.
exactly, and that's what it is. I mean, I could probably build up other habits for other types of cooking. I've done it fairly decently in the past where I could prep chicken. Like maybe sear the chicken and then finish it off in the oven, and then I had chicken. But that doesn't have a lot of taste to it. The crock pot thing so far had quite a bit of taste. Honey. It was like a honey garlic chicken something. So add that, some potatoes, some red potatoes, some carrots, and some green beans, and red pepper flakes and things. Like I could really taste the heat, which was actually really nice.
Nice.
My next one's going to be a barbecue chicken bacon thing, and then I'll just have steamed veggies with it. So
Dude, anything with bacon, man, is gonna be great. But you're kind of cheating when you use bacon.
this is true. This is true. But at least it doesn't have all the carbohydrates. So
True. True.
you know, I figure I'll take a little extra fat to go skip on the carbohydrate piece. But if it tastes good and it's reasonable, then I can. My goal at least is to just start eating more at home. fortunately, my girlfriend is on par with that, and I think once we move in together next month, that'll be a lot easier
Nice.
since we'll be driving around a lot less. She doesn't know how to cook. She can do ramen and canned soup. So we gotta start. We'll start. But she actually did make something with the crock pot once. So actually, I think if I can show her some of the crock pot recipes that I've done, that actually will be an easy segue. Of course, the problem with crock pot is who really wants to wait around for 3.5 hours at a minimum before somebody finishes. It's convenient when you're not doing anything else, or you're doing other stuff, I guess, that you can hang around the house, but yeah, it does take a little bit of time.
One thing to note about ramen is that the unhealthiest part isn't so much the stock base itself. I mean, yeah, naturally there's going to be a lot of sodium in it, so that's a bad aspect, no matter what. But the more unhealthier part is the noodles themselves, because they add chemicals to make it instantly boil. Yeah. Or not boil, but instantly cook. So all you have to do is just pour boiling water over it, as opposed to, say, waiting like a couple more minutes to actually cook the noodles. So just a key thing to be aware of.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now let's see. And what you just mentioned earlier about carbs and all that. Actually, carbs have gotten a pretty bad rap over the last couple of years, especially with
and realistically, what I'm more concerned with carbs are processed carbs and the easy carbs that pretty much every other meal has.
Yeah.
So like I had the red potatoes, which I cooked. Well, actually, really they steamed and boiled in the crock pot, so they weren't really processed carbs. And my goal is to start implementing like healthier whole carbs in ways as I learn them.
Right.
But yeah, it's not. I'm going to try to avoid things, which is a little weird because I do, one of the recipes are going to have barbecue sauce, which is basically got sugar in it. But I've removed sugary sodas. I've started removing some of the junk and trying to increase at least home cooking. So. But you're right. Yeah, carbs have kind of gotten a bad rap. Not all carbs are perfect. In fact, probably a lot of the carbs that we have easy access to in the grocery store are bad for you because they're sugar. But if you actually buy the right carbs, you're doing all right. So.
Now, there is one thing I need to address. So you introduced me to the app, MyFitnessPal, and I've been using that for the calorie counting. But then you also had me sign up for the Map My Walk / Map My Run and all those other things. So I've been logging in a bunch of hours, but I haven't seen a lot of activity from you. So.
Hey, Colin, can you hear me again?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah, Hangouts crashed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, your camera's on right now.
Oh. Thought I'd turn that off.
Okay.
There we go. I'm sure you got a nice look at my ceiling.
Yeah, it was a nice looking ceiling there.
Popcorn. But you were saying Map My Run or Walk or whatever.
Yeah, Map My Walk. I've logged in a lot of hours, but I haven't seen any activity from you as of late.
Yeah, I need to get back on the wagon, and part of that has been some of my conflict with making sure I do simple tasks. And kind of segues into something I found yesterday. I learned that existed called. So I've been trying that swipes. Was it swipes? Yeah, swipes.
Oh yeah.
And basically, it was about as annoying as a to-do list or my Outlook calendar on my work phone.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's just a matter of trying to find something that works. I actually found there's an app called Habitica, which turns things Habit ICA. So habit and then add ICA. And it's a game with tasks. So I just set up an account today, and I was messing with it earlier. I haven't actually set up my avatar just yet, but yeah, basically you can turn like one or two tasks into a game to build that into a habit.
Right.
Which I think I like the idea of building habits better. I don't know yet how in comparison it is to like swipes or something if it just turns into a what is it like a to-do list, which would be rather annoying. But like right now, I'm at the customize avatar, and I only get to choose 3 things, and you are locked out of other features until you can, you know, until you basically do enough things to justify it, right? So
Yeah.
um, I'll probably give this a shot. Mainly, the main goal is to probably the main habit I want to develop, as you were getting on, was by walking. Like the food, once I start getting that down, I think it'll be easier to put that back into to food one. But I think the bigger thing is if I can just start walking a little bit more. I didn't do some tracking of walks that I did on my trip, but honestly, since the trip, I didn't walk much, so that's why there isn't anything. So the cool thing is you can have like dailies, you can have like weeklies, different types of things on the to-do list. So I need to really go through here to give it a better idea, but I signed up for an account. So um, the other thing I want to do is try to get the reminders in at a better time, because the swipe thing reminded me at 7 o'clock that I had things to do. Well, generally I'm working at that time. So
Well, I mean, you can always change the time and customize it though on swipes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I didn't know that. Yeah, so I don't know. I need to be a little bit better organized on how I make sure I build like trivial, not, I don't want to call them trivial habits, but like what should be routine habits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and walking should be a routine habit, and I need to, hopefully this can help me. Tomorrow I'm going to try to do that one of the first things in the morning. Fortunately, the weather's better now, so although it's not, it's starting to get hot, but I'd rather walk in hot weather than cold weather any day of the week.
Right.
So.
I mean, or if anything, you can always walk during the night. I mean, that way you're not walking in
Yeah,
the
yeah, and
sun.
I mean I can do it after work and stuff too. So,
Yeah. No.
when I get off.
We did feature this a couple episodes ago. Niantic Labs. This is one of their games it's augmented reality sort of thing. So it kind
Right.
of forces you to go outside and play a game. I remember Ingress was like this game where you played either the Resistance or some other force, and you kind of go back and forth trying to fight each other for getting access to portals or something like that. It was kind of fun. So you might want to consider using that. Field Trip I haven't heard of. This is pretty new. Yeah, I'll have to actually check this out maybe. But there is something that they're coming out with. I don't know if you're a big Pokemon fan, but
Not especially. My girlfriend knows more about that than I do.
oh well then you should tell her to download this app when it comes out, because Pokemon Go is basically like Ingress but with Pokemon. So you can actually go around town trying to collect Pokemon balls and
Hmm.
like try to start battling other people with the Pokemon you collected. Hello? Oh, technical difficulties. And he's out. All right. So, are you
Wow,
back?
that is twice that Hangout's crashed.
Haha.
Might have to look into that and see what's going on.
Are you on your cell network or are you on Wi-Fi?
Oh, I'm on cell. No,
Ah.
the actual app is crashing.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Yeah, yeah. I've always been on my cell network. But yeah, like the actual app itself is crashing. So I'll have to look at that. Maybe clear out the cache and files and temp files and all that stuff from it.
Yeah.
So, but well, potentially I could master reset my phone, but that's a little extreme. So yeah, no, that's cool. I do have the I'll be honest, I completely forgot about the game Ingress. I'll have to download that, and hopefully my phone will cooperate. But yeah, that might make it more fun.
Yeah, it's not out in the U.S. as I was showing on the screen. I guess they're blocking us because it's not ready. So I'm trying to see if I can get to a Japanese proxy to see how the site actually looks.
Oh, the
And
Pokemon Go.
yeah.
Oh yeah, they've got like a article about it with some pictures.
Yeah.
But that's it. Huh.
What? Virus found? Seriously? Seriously? Jeez.
Oh.
All right. I'm not using that proxy again. So yeah, there's that. There are different apps that you can use. So yeah. Now I know the week prior you had issues with work. They were calling you in early and all that stuff.
Yeah, I got another meeting next Wednesday, early morning.
So considering that you know that that's going to happen, or that at least that's a possibility. What do you have in place as far as like kind of scheduling around that to kind of fit in some sort of walk or exercise of some sort in?
That's a good question. Well, so that is going to happen this week. It's bi-weekly, but it often gets canceled, so it's not really bi-weekly. That's a fantastic question. Now, the way it works is typically it's at 7:30, and it can run anywhere from till 9 or 10 a.m. And then I still have to go in and work my normal shift. Quite possible I actually can go for a walk after, and that might actually help energize me a little bit. Because that's part of the problem with that early meeting is it really just makes for a crappy day, you know.
Yeah.
Because I typically on my own will wake up anywhere between 8:30 and 9:30, and that's with working from 3 to 11 and going to sleep around 1 in the morning. You throw a forced wake up in there at like 7:15, and that just kills me. It throws me off. So.
Right.
Um, and generally when I wake up on my own, and it's that even if it's like at 8:30 or even 8, sometimes I would just wake up really early. Like I still feel a whole lot better than I do when I have to force myself for this early morning that just makes me sit there and not do anything. So that's kind of a pain in the butt, really. I don't like those, but thus that is the corporate world. So unfortunately.
So at your workplace, do you guys have like a gym inside, like maybe a treadmill you can use, or maybe you guys have like a cord gym or something you can walk around?
Well, so they do have a gym. I mean, I could go there and use the gym. It's not going to be anything accessible while I'm working, though. They close at 6, but because of the nature of my work, I really can't leave for an extended period of time. Because generally, I'm the one in charge. With my hours, I'm the only management there.
Yeah.
So I can't really leave unless there's someone else.
Well, I didn't necessarily mean like during your shift, but I figured during the days that you're called in to those early meetings or something
Oh,
like
I
that.
don't have to go there. I just phoned it in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do. We set up a bridge. We call them bridges, but basically a conference call, and just
Right.
phone in on it. So just a WebEx
So,
WebEx
what?
conference call.
Okay.
Now, one option which I haven't considered, I guess, is I could even go walk on the call. you know,
Yeah, that might
I
actually be a
actually,
pretty good idea.
like, because typically what I'll do is I'll wake up at like 7:15. I'll start getting some breakfast ready, and then I'll hop on the call, and I could still do that. Get a little bit of food in me, and then go walk around the neighborhood around here for a little bit. Because honestly, like these calls are 99% a waste of my time. So, it's and they're always way too long. They could probably be an hour at the most.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know how meetings are. I mean.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yep, I agree.
All right, well, with that, let's move on to the next section. The high leverage. Oh, nope. Okay, so high leverage section. So this is a section where we keep ourselves to the task that we commit. So for this week, how are you going to commit to the task of walking?
That's a good question. So, I think obviously there's a couple ways I can track it. We've got the Habitic app. I can try to set the to-do, and then we've got the Map My Run to actually track it to hold me accountable. Consequences. Let's see. So this is April. Promise there's nothing fun with April. I don't know. Obviously, I've got the ones that are due starting next week, like with my finances and stuff. But
Okay, well, how about, let's see, barring any sort of like random meetings you may have.
So what should my expectation be? So, well, what I'd like to do is get up to one, walk once, one walking a day. Eventually, the goal is 5 miles a day. I think would be a good goal, at least to get to. Let's see. So if I start tomorrow.
Well, I think it's probably better to set it lower so that you can assure
That's the eventual goal. So
yeah.
If I can walk 2 miles this week, starting tomorrow through, say, noon on the 11th.
2 miles is still actually pretty long. That might take you about like an hour as is. What about starting off?
Do I have to do it all at once, or should I do it all or like within the week, or 2 miles? I don't want to. Well, yeah. So let me. That's a good point. So should I do a distance for the week, or should I at least do maybe a 20-minute walk a day?
I would say this. Let's try and shoot for a 20-minute walk a day, and then if you're feeling like you still need a couple more miles or whatever, then add some in on the weekends or something.
Okay, and let's say I need to get at least a minimum of 4 walks in this week.
Right.
But ideally 7.
Yeah.
So if I don't get 4 walks in that are 20 minutes a day, or at least average 20 minutes a day. Maybe a consequence of that would be...
Oh, I got one right here for you, man. I got one ready.
What's the consequence?
You actually get 2 options because, I'm an
options.
awesome guy like that, So option 1, if you don't meet your goal, is... yeah, that's right. You're going to donate to Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton, yeah, okay.
Yep, that's option 1. Option 2, if you don't meet this goal, is you're going to donate to Donald Trump.
Oof.
Oh, yeah.
Oof.
That's right.
Wow.
Well, you don't have to decide right now. But, I mean, if you're okay with this, we're going to go with this high leverage.
I like it, actually. I like it, because I don't like either of them. I like it. Although, I know which one of them I would vote for if both of them made their tickets, just because I think one of them's less likely to get us, turn into Hitler. But
Right.
ooh, yeah, I like that.
All right.
All right, yes, that's a good consequence. No, that's clever. Mm.
Well, I can't take the credit for myself. I took this one from Tim Ferriss. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good resource. Using your resources there.
Yep. Let's see. So we got your high leverage in. So your goal is 4 walks a week and 20 minutes each at least.
Right. And then, the bonus is going to be if I can get 7 and, anything over 20 minutes.
Right. Let's see. For me, well, first of all, I need to study for my class tomorrow. So I'm definitely going to be doing that. No need for a high leverage there.
And the consequence is built into it.
Exactly. One thing I forgot to mention in the lows for the week is that this past week or so, or the past 2 weeks really, I haven't really been doing much with any of my books or the the book writing or the business plan writing either.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah. Now, granted though, I did spend a couple hours last Monday where I was kind of going around town and checking out commercial real estate agents just to get a feel for what are some of the things I should expect and look at and all that. Some people were kind of a-holes, but others were actually, for the most part, it was pretty productive, and I got a lot of good information out of it. So, this week for the high leverage, I'll put myself up to this, but the goal is going to be to, at least 5 out of the 7 days, I'm going to spend at least 30 minutes each working on either book writing or business plan writing.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, that's something I need to get on, which fortunately now that this week my school is ended, it should be free up all that time. But yeah, I'd like to, I don't know, all this, the meetings and the crappy, it's not that I don't mind working for corporate life, and I certainly don't mind the pay that I've started getting, but it's certainly tedious and tiring and boring. I'd rather be self-sufficient.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So, but one step at a time.
Yeah. Now, there's 2 ways you can do it, right? One, you can either plan your exit and plan out for how you're going to start your own business, or you can think about if you wanted to stick it with this corporation for a long time. Have you heard of Mr. Money Mustache?
I think I have.
Well,
I swear did I see that recently though. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of something totally different. Yeah, so I actually just went to their website. No, I've not heard of them. I thought it was something else. Eventually, I think revolved around mustaches.
Well, yeah. So this is a perfect segue into our last section, which is the resources section, and should have had that for you. And hello. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Dang it. I was cutting out there. Should have had this pulled up ahead of time, but Mr. Money Mustache. So this guy's famous for the fact that he only worked for 10 years, and he saved up enough to just retire within that time. Yeah. So this whole blog is dedicated to basically talking about how to live frugally and live within your means so that you can actually be well on your way to retirement. Of course, what he did was kind of drastic. I mean, he saved 50% of his paycheck, and he
Wow,
invested all of it into mutual funds. So,
interesting.
yeah.
That's not bad. And I don't know if I want to go fully that drastic, but if I can get to a part where I've saved up enough, and I can still kind of get by on doing something on the side, I think I'd be pretty happy.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole lot of costs about just going to work in the first place, right? So it's, if I can just avoid all of those. And a lot of that just comes around with time. I mean, work life eats up so much of your time. I'm fortunate that my current role only occupies about 45 hours a week, which compared to the people with the same title from my previous location in this company, that is not a true statement. And the fact that they also make $20,000 less than I do is probably
Wow.
pretty bad. Oh yeah, well, it's difference with the call center,
Yeah.
more technical positions. So, what's scary is that they make less than probably an entry level one of them makes less than any one of my employees makes. So, and I actually have employees that make more money than me. The advantage of where I work is we actually have fantastic benefits, which sometimes is hard to beat. From the healthcare side of things, obviously tuition assistance are pretty good, but the health benefits are actually pretty outstanding. So that is always a challenge. But no, I mean that's ultimately the goal, right?
Yeah.
Live instead of
Yeah.
just
And
sit there
then
and work forever.
if you can do it sooner, all the better. So, do you have a resource for us this week?
Well, so I've kind of got three of them. I mentioned the first one, Habitica,
Oh yeah, yeah.
um, which is a game, and that one I literally just learned about yesterday, like reading something completely unrelated. And they actually brought up something else that I'm going to investigate. It's a time management thing for programmers called Pomodoro, whatever the tomato
Oh,
word is.
the Pomodoro technique. Yeah.
Yeah, for programming. Apparently, it's highly popular in programming, but I need to investigate that before I really talk about it. But this I'd actually read about first, and it's not hard to take the leap of so it's got daily tasks, your habits that you want to build up. I haven't completely set everything up, but there's a to-do list, which is cool because there may be things that I want to put on a to-do list that don't have a defined time frame that need to be done. There's daily things that I probably want to do, like walking is a good example, but walking I think I would rather be a habit. But things like that. So I need to go through this a little deeper, and it's just quick and easy to check off, and you can unlock things. So I'm a big fan of and that's probably why sometimes I can get sucked into games. That's why I don't actually own a gaming computer anymore.
Nice.
Because I like the rewards. I like to hit that accomplishment. So it actually might, hit whatever pleasure center in my brain.
Yeah.
The other two things that I found that are actually very related, and I've heard of them before, but I've looked into them a little bit more now that my classes are over, is edX. And you probably heard of these edX and Coursera.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I'm probably going to do, and I actually have a whole list of other learning stuff for programming. What I'm probably going to do is just kind of go through some of those to prep for some of the classes I'm taking. I'm going to be taking that web class we had talked about offline before. So there's I think one or both of those probably have like a 4-week introduction to the web. So I might just my next classes start May 16th. So April 16th I might just pick up one of those and go through it really quickly and kind of get some introduction into it before I actually have coursework and kind of keep that going. And I can also kind of build it into other things I want to do as far as my own internal little websites or whatever. So there is that. Coursera and edX seem to be the coolest. edX has eventually a course that I want to take, which is MIT CS50. But I haven't really looked completely at what kind of time sink that would be. And of course, I mean, there's Khan Academy and all that. There's a bunch of other options, but those ones.
Yeah,
It's not that I wasn't aware of them. I think I was just kind of reintroduced to them this week through my reading and trying to find ways. And there's a whole lot of other resources for programming. So once I get a little bit of knowledge, then I can. There's a lot of stuff I can do to find problems and stuff. So that'll be my next step.
Nice.
But yeah, definitely pretty cool. So now I also have Mr. Money Mustache, thanks to you.
Yeah, actually, that's one of the blogs that's read often on that old podcast I introduced you to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's right. I need to download those.
I thought you did.
Phone. Well, I've got it bookmarked, and I listened to one of them on my computer, but I actually put that on my phone. That'll make walking easier for the times that I don't have a stupid meeting to phone into. Like tomorrow, actually. So.
Okay, so let's see. I think that pretty much ends the show for today. So yeah, for the very few followers we have out there, hey, please subscribe to our YouTube page. But also, if you want to connect with me on Facebook, you can go to www.facebook.com/312JLZ. And yeah, that's it. So let me bring this offline and